Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Oh dear. Nope. Welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Joe Dog is doing emergency automobile surgery at the moment, and he's been so busy all day he didn't really have time to set anything up. So I had to do it at the last minute, and I'm not all that good at it. So apologies. But with us tonight, we've got Rich, we've got Bill, and we've got Joe Bachman. And we will see whether or not we get John or Chris, or if indeed Joe Dog finally gets the back seat of his car off of the roof and into the back of the car.
I'm not a Sith.
Fear not. Darth Nixon is here.
Oh, so how's y'all's Star Wars day been?
Real starry.
I have to
now I
admit
won't be
that
able to get this damn helmet back on.
I have to admit that I did not even remember until after I got home from work and saw all the posts on Facebook. It was that kind of day at work.
Oh, that's right. Misty would have been able to wear Star Wars scrubs if she actually had Star Wars scrubs. Well, weird that one of the holidays that they let her change up her scrubs for is May the 4th be with you.
Today is also the National Day of Prayer as well. And that seems to get overshadowed quite a bit, much like everything else.
We should all pray that the next movie is better.
Yeah.
For those that engage in prayer, every day should be a day of prayer. So, I mean...
Yeah, with the way today went, if the Force was real, there would have been many trains that were derailed and out of my way. So here's how my day has gone.
Okay.
Because of the cluster that is 8094 with all the construction, and Klein Avenue currently also, at least down by 8094, the project I am on is on the far north end of Klein Avenue, just before you get to the toll road to head into Illinois. Richie knows exactly where I'm talking about. So I figured I'll do the smart
Not far from
thing.
where I went to college.
So I figure I'll do the smart thing. I'll bypass all the construction on 8094, the stuff on the south end of Klein. I'll take US 12 and 20 over to my job site. So I take I-65 north up to 1220. I get to that intersection. It's flashing red in all four directions because there's a train stopped on the tracks just north of the intersection. Now, that is a very busy traveled road because a lot of the mill workers like to take it. And of course, they're all heading to work. Finally make it through that. I get down just about to Klein Avenue, where there's a train stopped on the tracks, blocking 12 and 20. So I flip back around, head to Clark Road, cut up to Airport Road, finally make it to the job site. Mind you, I left my house at about 20 after 6 this morning. I pulled up at 7:55. It should not take 35 minutes for me to get to my job site. Richie, you can stop laughing. Now it gets better. On the way back to the field office to finish up my paperwork, I'm heading down Calumet Avenue. Right by State Road 312, there's train tracks. I get caught by a train heading eastbound. Moving at a pretty good speed. Didn't really think anything of it until it was about half done and the westbound train came by.
Sounds like Danville, Illinois.
Oh,
Get to that intersection.
We got another contestant on the prices, right? Hello, John.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I was reading a book and lost track of time.
Get through that intersection, cut over to Indy Boulevard, heading south. I get over the old Nine-Span Bridge. What do I find? A train stopped on the damn track. Cut down Public Street to 165th, figuring I'll be able to get through that way. No, there's train tracks on either side of that intersection, both with slow-rolling trains.
So what did you do to piss off CSX?
I don't know.
Well,
let me interject here for a second. Hey, Dan.
Streak again.
Dan, is this show on YouTube or Facebook tonight? I have a friend who's trying to get on to watch.
It should be on the. It should be on 2 YouTube channels and 3 Facebook channels.
And a Twitch.
I don't think that I had to set it up, and I don't know the other 5 million channels that Joe Dog usually uses for this. So
I'm trying to find because all of them say live, but of course they're old shows.
Well, it should have today's date on it.
Yep.
Right. And
I know it's on the Facebook Stupid O'Clock channel. And I know it's on the YouTube.
Well, I just looked there, and I didn't see it there either.
Better
double check.
It says it says they're working.
Yep. I'm looking at one right now. It's working.
Yeah,
we may not be live. We may be Memorex.
No, we're live.
I've got the in broadcast thing in front of me, so
I just
there
Let
you
me
go.
go back into the stupid o'clock group. I'm seeing a thing of John's about 47 minutes ago about Pink Panther being a lion.
Hey,
Another
Bill.
thing of John's.
Okay. I
Bill,
just
check your
posted.
DMs.
I just posted a YouTube link to the Stupid O'Clock page. So,
Yep.
or
And I just DM'd you the link.
Stupid O'Clock group.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I didn't find out about this till after 8:30.
Right.
So it took me a while to set things up. It's not done Joe Dog's way. Everything looks like it's working, and StreamYard says we are broadcasting. So
Okay. Let's see here. Joe
Yeah.
Bachman, I see yours. And let me see if I can.
You darn kids and your internet.
Well, I don't know that he's on Facebook. And so I think he was looking on YouTube.
YouTube is kind of universal.
Yeah, Stupid O'Clock.
Of course,
on
technically,
YouTube.
so is StreamYard, but
yeah, we shall say.
Let's see
Yeah,
here.
well, I mean, and we got 9 people watching. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joe?
6 of
Okay,
them on,
you
on
guys,
Stupid O'Clock.
you know, I didn't mean to interrupt Joe's vacation story today. Vacation on his way to work. But I'll continue to look here.
Yeah. So, to answer Carl's question, I did finally get to the field office, and I did make it home. I've got past that train track, made it over to Kennedy Avenue just to find out that Kennedy southbound was closed due to road construction. Took the detour around that. And what should have taken 15 minutes to get back to my field office took about 45. The running joke for my way home was a train was going to end up somehow crossing Interstate 94, and I'd be stuck there again.
let me guess. There's no
Going
train
up the
tracks on
region?
94.
What's that, Dan?
I said, let me guess. There's no train tracks on 94.
No, but with the way my luck
Not that
was
should
running
interfere
today,
with traffic.
yeah, the way my luck ran today, one could have derailed and somehow hopped the 75 feet into the air and across all 5 lanes.
I was going to say, growing up in the region, I can see it happening.
You're right.
with my luck, the train would get hit and derailed by a Ukrainian drone.
With my luck, it would have derailed to get out of my mother's way because she wanted to make a left turn.
Of course, in Hamilton County, the cops try to pull over the trains. So, yeah.
Well, you got to understand, her Yukon is pretty much bigger than the trains around here.
Hi to Sean. We did get him in to watch, so he's
Okay.
Now he'll probably never watch us ever again once he's finding out what he's seeing here. But
Well,
Sean, give StreamYard permission and get in, and you can comment or cuss us out or whatever you want to do in the comments.
No, can't cuss us out. That's
we'll put it up
Welcome
on
to our kingdom. We'll bid you all before the night is through.
Yeah.
Oh, you already did that, Joe. I'm sorry.
I got it
There
2
you
seconds before you did. So.
Yes, I saw that. You can turn it off too.
He actually showed up
Let's
as
see.
Sean Capers.
There you go.
Well,
There
he's
you go.
in
No, he's showing up. Oh,
YouTube.
Oh, there he is. There's Sean Capers. Okay, there you go. He's in.
Well, I mean, seriously,
Welcome to the insanity.
you see the name of the show. There's a clue implicit in this.
Well,
It's
there's a
not
lot of other things that, that show up, but
It's not clever branding.
we're unfortunately 5 of them. So
Dan's pulling
Well,
a
number
Max
6 is
Headroom
on the
over
way.
here.
I
Yeah.
see that. I see that flickering going on, and it shouldn't be because this is the fast computer.
ooh,
But my internet has been real slow for the past 3 days. I don't know what they're doing.
Facebook. I always blame it on Facebook nowadays.
yeah. Well,
It's either Facebook or DNS.
Laura had issues last
Or
night.
Joe Dog.
And, knock on wood, my Xfinity is going full blown so far before it blows up. Joe, I got a question for you to continue on your topic.
Mhm.
So a few days ago, a real bad incident happened on I-55 by I want to say Farmer City. It's not Farmer City. It's Farmersburg.
Yeah, you're talking about that dust storm that went through there.
Yeah, very, very freak thing. 70 for those of you down south that may have not picked up on it on the national news.
Actually,
72.
it made national
Did you?
news down here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know what you get, but anyway, 72 car pile up. We had 55 mile an hour plus winds, so we had a wind warning out for that day, and actually the day after as well.
That was the dust storm I read about, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Currently 7 people died in that, and
We had
yeah. It was a farmers, of course, are out in the field plowing and disking, planting. It's planting season, and because of the way the wind was going, and I believe what is the north-south road, Joe?
55, I believe, is north-south. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not as familiar with Illinois roads, but I'm pretty sure 55 is north-south.
Yeah.
Well, I know 57 is north-south, and I was thinking it ran parallel with it, but yeah, it was very horrible. Here most recently, what they thought was one deceased person that they found actually were 2. They cannot get all the identifications done yet. I think they still have 2 of them that are unidentified, but they're trying to get with all the family members and that, and trying to figure everything out. But it just horrible, and like I say, freak thing that happened. Who would have thought?
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe Dog.
Hey, Joe Dog.
Hey, how's this mic sounding?
Sounds good.
Okay,
So far, so
well,
good.
low, but
So far,
Yeah.
what we hear of you.
So did you get the car put back together, or did you just give up in disgust?
Well, it got dark. Now, can you hear me any better?
hang on a
It's
minute.
just
Let me
it's just the same.
let me
about the
poke
same,
your
yeah.
let me poke your mic setting here.
I was gonna say you're a little lower than when I talked to you the other day, but that could be
Okay.
my headset.
Try it now, Joe.
Okay, test a 1 to 2 or 3.
And one more time.
1 to 2 or 3.
There we go. Had to turn you up to about 180%.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
And then Dan's been impersonating Max Headroom here for the last year.
I'm getting tired of this flickering. I'm gonna back out of everything and reboot the computer and hope that's
Max Headroom. Okay.
Yeah.
sorry,
Good.
I just threw that on you at the last minute, Dan. But
that's all right.
as you can see, I was in a pickle.
Well,
Looks like you were in a minivan.
HHR.
as you can see, I'm in a split personality mode, and that's it.
Dan's going to do a Coca-Cola commercial here
No
in
kidding.
a minute.
I am going
Coke.
to.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
We're gonna need
I'm gonna
anesthesia.
reboot the computer, and while that happens, I'm going down the hall. I'll be back, and hopefully in a. I started to say more stable, but we know just about how much hope there is of that. But
You mean
maybe
the
the
computer
video
might
would
be
be more
working
stable.
better? Okay.
Yes.
Dan's in a stable and he's going to put the feedback on.
Mm.
We're gonna need to add a seizure warning at the beginning of this show.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
I was about to say earlier, we have this spot just north of Chattanooga on I-75. Goes up near the Tennessee River, and there's a big paper mill up there, just south of Knoxville,
Blowwater.
Bowater. And there was this one day that just all the weather hit perfectly to create this incredibly dense cloud of fog on I-75.
There's a Forensic Files and a couple of other shows about it too.
And I can't remember, it was 100 and something car pileup. And I can't tell you how. And the bad part was, people would crash their cars, and they start getting out of their cars, and people would mow them down just trying to get around it.
Mhm.
And, and in the fog, nobody could see anything. Emergency services couldn't see their way to get there. It was terrible.
The eeriest thing I've had happen with fog. Another engineer and I were heading down to Indy for a meeting, and temperature in the car said it was like right around 19, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's fog on I-65. And it was such a low-lying fog, you could see the windmills over the top of it still. But it was dark out, so all you see is these little red pulsing lights as you're driving along. And it's like, I think they made a movie about this. War of the Worlds.
Let's see.
I think it was called The Mist.
Oh, Resolute Forest Products, formerly Bowater, is
My best friend.
This moment,
When we were 16, going through driver's ed, my dad dropped me off extra early because he would drop me off on his way to work. Of course, Dad left at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and summer driver's ed didn't start till 8. So I would go and I would sit, by the front doors of the school, and as soon as they unlocked the school doors, I'd go in and I'd just sit inside. Foggy as all hell out. I'm reading The Mist by Stephen King for the very first time. Sitting there underneath the window. Again, foggy as all hell out. He knows where I sit every day. So he runs up and slams his hands on the window right at the point where the large tentacle thing slaps the front of the store and breaks the windows. I almost peed myself.
Me and my brother were watching HBO in the living room. There's some scary movie. I can't remember what it was. The dogs were sitting there, and he was, eating peanuts or something. And of course, you know how dogs are when you're eating something one at a time like that. They're like, hand up. They're watching your hand go to your mouth every time. And also, they stop looking at him and they look out the window right behind him, both of them at the same time. He looks back, doesn't see anything. He goes back, and so he goes and he picks up a peanut. Dog's watching with the peanut, and just as he's about to put it in his mouth, the dogs look at the window again. They're not looking at the peanut anymore. So he's like, he keeps staring, and I'm like, what's the matter? He says, the dogs keep looking out the window. And I'm like, yeah. Now, I'm sitting on the other end of the couch. I'm looking out the window. It's a big, wide window. It's as wide as the couch. But just to his side of it is the front door. And the porch light's on. Okay. So there's a moth that's flying around the porch light, and every time it flies right in front of the window, the dogs are like, ooh, moth,
Motion.
Yeah. And they just keep, and he is freaking out. I says, well, go look, the porch light's on. Go look out the front door and see if there's anybody out there. So what do you mean anybody? It's like, that wreck on I-75 was 99 cars and 14 dead. Again, because of the fires and such, there were some cars that were burnt so badly they couldn't recognize the cars. And there were some bodies that were burnt just as badly.
Guy got handed a little kid through a window. He got her to safety and tried to get back for the parents, and the parents were engulfed. It was a horrific tragedy.
I remember that. Somebody that's trying to reenact Tron just came by the house on a light cycle. I could hear
We've got our own merch now.
Nice.
It's one of those credit card things.
Okay.
Don't leave home without it.
Yeah.
I thought you
wished
were going
I
to say
had
credit
earlier
card
today.
skimmers.
I wished I had earlier today.
And thank you, Josh. We'll see. I started off the show as non-blinking, so we'll see how long it lasts. Oh, good evening, Dawn.
About another hour and 15 minutes, and Dawn will be joining us in the show.
It has dawned upon us.
Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on?
That's right. Go ahead. Fire her up. She'll be on Last Man Standing. I'm going to have to deal with it. You won't.
I
true.
won't either because I'll be in bed.
Oh, hail.
Oh, did y'all see those pictures that I sent?
I was just looking at those, yes.
Yeah, it started out, in an HHR, right behind the back seat, there's a little storage box with the lids. Well, the one that was in it was all messed up. The lids would fall off and slide around in the back of the car. And I said, the junkyard over here, there's one of these pick your part junkyards down the road. I'm going to go check it out, see what they got. So I went in, looked around, found the box, pulled it. I thought, okay, yeah, we're going to head out. And I looked down and I said, it's got factory hubcaps on it. I don't have factory hubcaps. I don't even have hubcaps. So I pulled the hubcaps off of it. I looked up and it had the little rubber thing that goes in the door handle to cover the screws up. So I pulled all those out. $110 later and 2 wheelbarrows full of stuff. We get home. I start to put some of that stuff in, and it was nasty from being out in the weather and the dust and the dirt. So I washed it off. Now the front seats have to come out. Because when you clean it up, it looks so pretty. That I started at the back and passenger seat came out and I've got all the trim out of the front seat now.
Be careful what you wish for. You might just get it.
Damn if I didn't.
Oh, dear.
I hate it. It's only when you have everything pulled apart that's taken you hours and hours and hours to get there, then you find out, oh, I have a totally different problem.
discovered that too.
Yeah. And
Misty just got home, so I'll be back in a little bit, guys.
All right.
See you, Rich.
And you can't find your 10mm socket anywhere.
Yep.
And you've got 12 of them.
No, what really just was the cherry on the top of the cake today is in the back seat, there's a hole for a power port. So I pulled a power port out of one of those cars. I get home, open everything up in the console. There's no wire run for the power port.
Just the hole.
Just the hole. I mean, we're talking, I even pulled out the airbag computer and looked. It's not there. I'm going to have to go back tomorrow or Saturday back to that car and start tracing that wire all the way up and probably pull that little bit of wiring harness. Yeah, not a happy camper.
Let's just pray that the car is still there and Joe Dog can find all the wire instead of just getting all of it, but the last 7 inches you need to make the connection.
Yeah, you should have Donna videotaping you taking all this apart, just in case you forget how to put some of it back together.
It'd have to be a silent movie because I understand the frustrations of working on a car, so you wouldn't be able to have any sound on that one.
Yeah, post that on YouTube.
I found out something that was quite curious and fortunately is not going to be held against me.
What?
They had the dates of the recent 2-week shutdown at work posted in a very confusing manner. So evidently I missed 2 days of work I was supposed to be there and didn't call in.
Dope. So do you have 2 strikes against you because of that, or?
No, my supervisor came and talked to me today. He said, look, I know they did not have all the information posted where you needed it, but you were supposed to have been there Monday and Tuesday and come in for the safety training Wednesday and then start the layoff even though everything else had been shut down on the day that I thought it was, I was supposed to not come in. And I had told everybody on the Friday that see you in 2 weeks, basically. So they knew, I thought, that I was not supposed to be there Monday and Tuesday. So my supervisor had got it okay. It's not going to be on my attendance. It's not going to be counting against my perfect attendance, which I have had so far this year. I usually do. But I'm going, well, I could have used that 2 days pay because I'm not going to go to the unemployment website and claim the blasted unemployment that the company signed me up for the partial week and the full week, because that messes up my income tax something fierce because they never take the taxes out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just figured I've got a year's pay in the bank. I've got no real need for getting 2 days pay for a 5-day week for the unemployment and then having to pay taxes on it when I file my income tax for this year. So I'm just not going to claim it. I'm not even going to file for it. The company filed for me anyway. They're just
So the,
trying to be helpful. They're just trying to be helpful.
what's
It's
the magic
frustrating.
number now, Dan?
Huh? Uh, okay. New Year's Day, I'll have a day and a half left to work.
We're gonna get Dan a short timer's calendar.
You don't think I've already not made? I've
Hey,
made
you used to have
myself.
them in the army, and when you get your last year in, you buy it, and it starts at 365, and you mark off each day, and it's got all the way down to going home. You know,
I've got that in my spreadsheet for balancing my bank account, and it tells me how many calendar days I've got left, how many work days I've got left because it leaves out weekends and my vacation days. It tells me how many weeks, how many months I've got left, how many weeks I've got left, how many hours I've got left, how many seconds I've got left. I was bored one day and I just did the calculations and it's running. It's running. It always does. Uh, Now, the thing is, once I retire, I will have to take all of that stuff out of the bank account balancing spreadsheet and all the stuff about, oh, here's my 401k from my paycheck going in the bank and my employer match for the 401k. And here's Lindsay's allotment from my paycheck. And here's the bit that goes into my savings account every week from my paycheck. And I'm just going, well, I can simplify that. It's going to be what do I get each month from the 401k? What do I get each month from the pension? 6 months after I retire, what do I get from Social Security? Um, do. You know, this is the raw amount. This is with the taxes taken out. Um,
I see we've got a new face in the crowd tonight.
that's a
Sean
friend. That's
Sean
that's a friend of
Caper.
Bill's.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well,
Took a while for us to get them in here, but
and
Yeah.
we afflicted
Lord
him
help
with
him.
the YouTube address. So.
Well, I mean, there's a clue in the name of the show. So,
And Don, you did miss the 7 inches to make a connection.
Oh.
further deponent saith not.
We'll let you just stew on what that one was.
Either that or she'll watch the rerun and go, "Oh, you."
so
It was
that
it was so innocent, Dawn. I swear.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the thing. I missed 2 days that I could have gotten paid for, but it's not going to be held against me, and everything's cool. Um, I filed for the 2 vacation days I'll need next month to go to my brother's uh, induction to the office that he was elected to at the. Well, I keep wanting to call it a Masonic lodge because that's what explains it, but it's not the Masons. It's something called Eastern
Elks.
Star.
Oh, Eastern Star. Okay.
Yeah. Thing is, they want us to be fancy dress, and I don't know if I'm not gained too much weight to actually fit into any suit that I own.
you didn't
So,
want to show your legs anyway.
probably my best feature from all the time I spend walking around and bicycling as a kid.
But you'd have to shave them now.
Sean, I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that my brother and his wife both call it Eastern Star, so I thought that was just the name of the lodge. Now there may be other lodges that use Eastern Star as a title for the female uh, initiates. I don't know. It's not my world. I'm just going to be visiting. I'll be a tourist.
No. Could
So
y'all hear
that
her?
Mm-hmm.
no,
Yes.
There she is again.
your
Okay,
secretary.
Like a
I've been.
bad penny. She's. Ow! Which one is that?
Oh, yeah. She's
Yeah.
the bad penny. Yeah.
Joe Dog, I've just been drinking Mountain Dew tonight, but am I seeing two lapel mics on you now?
What? No. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Uh huh.
He's
I'm
wearing the
testing.
cat. He's wearing the cat's mic as well. Either that, or he's got a funny idea what pasties are for.
Well, I'm glad things got a light on it, because it just fell on the floor underneath the.
Don't roll
desk.
the chair over it. It probably costs money.
Oh, I think I'm gonna start a YouTube channel.
How many more are you allowed?
I don't know. We'll go till they say, "Damn it, stop."
But you know they won't. They need someplace else to show StreamYard ads every 30 seconds.
Well,
Oh, I swear, every time that I watch a YouTube video, it's getting to be predictable. I can go, oh, wait, everything froze. What's going on? Oh, it's going to be a StreamYard commercial. 90% of the time, I'm right. And then they flash up a little sign that says, you can pay us a bribe and we'll stop putting commercials in your videos. No, I don't really want to pay extortion. How long have we been doing this, Joe Dog? Sean just asked.
how long have we been doing this? April. oh, I thought it was April 4th, but April 2nd of 2020.
Now, if the question was, how long have we known each other? John and Joe and I have known each other for years from the conventions up in Chattanooga. We met Joe Bachman and Bill Sartain after the show started, and boy, we glad of that. And we've also met a bunch of other fine people whose company we enjoy and who usually just make us laugh like nobody's business.
I'm sorry,
that
you are
goes,
who
that goes
again?
well for Rich.
Well,
Your worst nightmare, Bill.
It's my new
yeah.
credit card.
Thankfully, it's empty, so you won't use it too often.
Yeah. It just came off the back of the Walmart money card.
Oh,
Well, the thing is, it expired valid through 7/15.
And you've been toting it around all this time.
I just found it yesterday in a drawer.
You should have gone out to Walmart and tried to buy some stuff with it. And then when it didn't go through, you'd say, well, look, they say it's valid through July 15th.
Oh.
Are you anywhere near Evansville, Indiana, by any way, Bill?
Long ways away.
You're going to have to retarget that ICBM, John.
I'm working on it.
Joe Blackman, have you seen that guy that he's the asset protection guy for Walmart?
Oh, Stay Petty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, he's from Indiana?
Evansville, Indiana.
No kidding. I didn't know that. I have seen plenty of his videos, and they are hilarious. But yeah, I never knew he was from Indiana. Huh.
Yeah. Him and Bill would have him drinking by the end of the day. On the job.
There you go. I was going to have a Mexican Coke tonight, but Dan hates it when I say Mexican Coke, so I decided not to have a Mexican Coke tonight.
Go ahead. I don't hate it when you say Mexican Coke. I mean, I understand exactly what you mean. They sell them at Kroger. I see them all the time. That's what they call them on the shelf.
Yeah.
Well, now I know why she said take a shower before you come to bed.
Yeah, we're going to finally have summer coming back over here. It got up to a balmy 71 degrees today. Tuesday, we went, early in the show, and Joe, you weren't on yet. We were talking about the freak dust storm on I-55 basically by Springfield, Illinois, that caused 7 deaths, and it was a 70 plus car pileup. And it'd been fairly cool, but we've had the wind advisories, and then it was wind. Well, I think it went straight from wind advisories to wind warnings, and farmers plowing the field, and it went straight across, and of course, sadly caused a lot of deaths. And that Tuesday, I took Laura's 88-year-old father up to Chicago to get shots in his eyes for the macular degeneration that he has. We're going up 57, and every single digital billboard that I drove under was talking about, be very cautious with the winds and all that, because obviously farmers are going to be out there. Now, luckily, nothing like what happened Monday happened Tuesday by any means. I did see a lot of farmers out disking up fields and stuff and pushing off a lot of dust. But luckily, not in the direction of 57 and that. But it was a very, very cold and cloudy. And by the time we got up there, and I had to mow 2 acres at his house, and I think it was about 44 degrees with about 20 some odd mile-an-hour winds on top of that. And it felt like late December. It really did.
Well, Sean wants to know, what's a Mexican Coke?
Sean, I have to bring you one sometime. It is actually, you can get it at Myers in 4-packs there, and the Dollar General, you can get individual bottles. They're 16-ounce glass bottles of Coca-Cola with the original cane sugar that all soda pop had when we were kids, and not the high fructose corn syrup. So, but Coke makes it, well, Pepsi and Mountain Dew, they do the throwbacks, which is the same thing, but I think they're in cans. Every once in a while, you'll see a bottle of their throwbacks, but they're typically in cans. But it tastes just like the Coke that you had 40, 50 years ago.
Which I'm guessing he didn't have because he's probably not 60-something years old.
I don't know if Sean wants me to tell. Sean's older than I am.
Oh, okay. Well, he probably did have it.
So
then.
he more than knows what I'm talking about once I described it. But
he might even remember the original name for Mountain Dew.
I don't even
When it
remember
first
the.
when
I
it
don't
first
even-
came out, it was tied to the Little Abner newspaper comic strips. They called it Kickapoo Joy Juice.
Oh, okay.
now, actually, they still sell Kickapoo Joy Juice. Same name, different company, but it does taste like Mountain Dew.
Well,
And
there's a
I
reason
have-
for that.
Yeah. I have a bottle somewhere around there. Now, where Sarah lives in St. Joe, they have an antique mall over there called the Mercantile Trading, and they sell a bunch of glass bottled soda and that there. And I do know for a fact that Kickapoo Joy Juice is still offered there. And my favorite grape drink, Grapette, that we had when we were kids.
Mhm.
We didn't have access to Grape Crush. We did Knee High. We did, but Grapette was the drink, and they have it there, and it's all with cane sugar and that in it, And
There's one that is local to Athens, Georgia, and it's not easy to find these days, but I think it is still in production by somebody else other than the original company. It's called Budwine, and it's a what would you call it, John? A grape cola mix, or
Is that something like I'm trying to remember.
is it more raspberry or
They used to have
something like that?
Cheerwine, which was kind of a
yep,
Yeah, this
I-
was a variation on that, but I think it was something a little bit more obscure than the Cheerwine turned out to be.
Cheerwine tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
That's
this is
I do.
definitely some kind of berry flavor.
Yeah,
So it could be raspberry, it could be mulberry. I don't know. Something that they pretty much made from local ingredients.
and you can still get Cheerwine a lot of places. I know I get it at Rural King. Cracker Barrel, they'll have it with all their glass bottled pop and that they sell there.
Yep, I like looking at that when we go to a Cracker Barrel for some family
Double cola,
get-together.
which
Oh, they've
I know.
got loads of things.
Hmm.
Some stuff I haven't seen in since we lived in East Tennessee. As far as the Kickapoo Joy Juice goes, there was either a barber shop or there was a store that had the entire selection. It was basically on the shelf was the whole history of Mountain Dew bottles up until the mid 70s, and it went back to the 40s or 50s. I don't remember when the earliest one was, but they were full, unopened, never touched, dusted occasionally, but never opened. And they just had them on display. I want to say it was a barber shop actually, but I'm not sure. It's a small town, and people get enthusiastic about things, and bring them in as decorations to their shop. It was educational for a young and impressionable boy.
Last weekend, I went to donate a vacuum cleaner to a place in Champaign that the guy's been in business for 50 plus years. He should have retired long ago, but that's his reason for living. And you walk in there, and it's a corner store right off of University Avenue, across the street from the police department, and up on the shelves is the whole history of vacuum cleaners. He's got Hoovers and every other kind of vacuum cleaners from the early 1900s all the way up to probably the late 70s, early 80s, something like that. And this guy is extremely knowledgeable on every kind. I told him I had the reason why I was donating this Bissell upright vacuum cleaner, because I got a Dyson ball vacuum cleaner, one of the $300 and some ones at our auction that I go to on Friday nights. I paid $4 for it. I thought I'd be paying $30, $40 for it. And I only had one person bid against me, and they dropped out after the first bid for some reason. And no, I didn't put a hit out on them or anything like that. They just didn't continue to bid. And it's a wonderful vacuum cleaner. And this guy, I told him, kind of described the vacuum cleaner to him a little bit, and he jumped right in. He knew exactly what I had. And then he told me something about this Dyson ball vacuum cleaner that I did not know. It has two on switches. One that it's like a regular on, well, it's a button and not a switch, but it's a button at the top. And it'll turn on the vacuum and turn the brushes and that, just like every other vacuum cleaner does. Next to it, it has a red push button that when you turn that on, well, first of all, the sound it makes is ungodly. It sounds like the 1966 Batmobile starting up, with the big whine, and then it goes to the regular sound. But what it is, it turns on the sucking power of the vacuum cleaner, but does not turn on the brushes. And then he went on to tell me, I said, well, why would they have that? And he said, because if you have a hardwood floor in your house, and I said, yes, I do, most of it. He says, okay. He says, if you've gone across with a regular vacuum cleaner and you're picking up something dry on there, then, the brushes are going to kick it out. But if you have just the suction power part turned on, that's that, And, well, you learn something every day, I guess.
And to Carl, I'm testing to.
There was one weird thing I found out about vacuum cleaners was there was one really good company that shot themselves in the foot with their advertising. And their slogan was, nothing sucks like an Electrolux.
Yeah.
Are you
And
kidding?
people
That right there would get everybody's attention.
It got everybody's attention, and they said, well, if it sucks, we're not buying it. We're going to get this.
Public service announcement. The Dyson ball cleaner vacuum is a horribly, horribly bad description of what it's used for.
Yeah.
It has a very misleading name, in other words. Yes. That fellow wound up in the emergency room twice, didn't he?
Yes.
And once again, folks, this is not the red green room.
We didn't say anything offensive yet.
Okay.
The evening is still young.
It is true. It does turn on a dime. It's kind of weird. The first time I used it, well, it's a bagless vacuum. Canister vac, and instead of having disposable filters in it, it has permanent filters in there. Actually, several of them at the top, and one of them is specifically designed that if you have pets and you're vacuuming up pet hair and such, that it's real good for that, and it doesn't clog up the filters in that. You basically, once every 30 days, you take the filters and you just rinse them out and let them air dry for a couple hours or whatever before you put them back in. But it's the first time I used it, and I'm trying to go underneath the chair, I'm like, whoa, and it kind of makes a 90 on me. And that because it just, at the slightest pressure, it'll turn whatever direction you want it to do, and not have the quite as stiff steering as like a lot of uprights would.
So it's the Richard Petty of vacuum cleaners. All right.
I would imagine.
Well, could be worse. Could be the Dale Earnhardt of vacuum cleaners, and it keeps hitting in the wall.
Well, I was going to say Kyle Petty, but since you went there.
Did any of y'all see my positive posting that I put in Uncle Carl's group?
I don't know, but I know you well enough to where I'm not clicking on any link anywhere.
Well, it's not a link. It says it's some positive words to help you through your day. Friendship, unity, community, kindness, youth, optimism, and understanding.
And what do the first letters of those words spell?
Yeah.
This is why we do not click on your posts, Joe.
Because then nobody sees us for 30 days.
Neither do we wear them as T-shirts.
Stop giving Joe ideas.
What, you didn't know? He already does that.
Hey, I would love to have that as a T-shirt.
The evening is yet young.
And just wear it around to see people's reaction.
We had one fellow at work that got in trouble because he used the word Dilligaff as the brand name for his recording studio and his rap music recording studio and CD company, and had the logo on his hat and on a T-shirt. And we had a plant manager from somewhere in Europe who kept walking up to him and goes, "What does that mean? What does that?" Trying to get the man to say it so he could fire him. And thankfully, my friend was a little bit too smart for that ploy. So, yeah, that's just one of those things to where maybe you shouldn't wear it to work, because there's always somebody looking to be offended.
Oh, yeah.
Just looking for anything.
Looking for a fight. And
It's
some
sort of
people are more than happy to bring it to them.
It's sort of like a Pink Floyd lyric where missing the weight that they used to need to throw around, not being as powerful as they want to be perceived. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. If I remember correctly, which one that was, they moved him up to Canada, and I think they shuffled him off someplace after that because he instituted policies that like to got the entire factory burned down.
Oh, so he was a dumbass.
Or management, one or the other.
Oh, management, definitely management. As to the other, that's a value judgment that I'm not willing to make until after I retire.
And you will make that very quickly known?
Probably will just never say anything about it because why bother? It's not that important. Oh, Sarah, what copyright case got decided today?
I think she's referring to.
Edward Sheeran or whatever his name is. Ed
Yeah,
Sheeran,
the
singer.
co-writer of the Marvin Gaye song, or
Well, he wrote a song that sounded a bit like an old Marvin Gaye song.
right.
And
Sheeran, yeah. But of course, Marvin Gaye's long gone. But the co-writer of the Marvin Gaye song was the one that brought up the suit, I believe.
Okay, is that one of those cases like caught up?
Well,
Harrison?
it did. No, I knew you were going to mention that, and it did not end up the same way as the My
George.
Sweet Lord.
Yeah. I knew I was not. I knew my brain was not connecting his actual first name with his last name. I could remember his last name.
Right. The reason they went ahead with the lawsuit a while back is even Ed Sheeran did the. He was doing it in concert. He was singing his song, and then he added in.
Okay.
The
did a mashup.
Yeah, did kind of a mashup, and then went back to his song. And that's the prosecution. That was, he said, this is proof. You know, that's a smoking gun that he stole the lyrics and all that sort of, and stole the music and all that sort of stuff. Okay. And the jury is like, we don't see it. No.
It's a different world these days. You can get by with so much more, and copyrights and trademarks don't mean anything the way they used to when you're sampling somebody's song in a rap song or hip hop or just pop song in general. And I would hazard to guess that if the George Harrison lawsuit, the My Sweet Lord, He's So Fine lawsuit happened today, Harrison would have been found innocent.
Oh, it would have been. It would have been fair use as a inspirational thing. I wonder about the one that Kid Rock did that was mixing up Werewolves of London and Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, that was very intentional.
Oh, of course it was. I mean,
because he mentions both.
because he uses bits and pieces of both of them. There's one band, can't remember the name of them. I've seen a couple of their videos, but that's exactly their entire shtick. They will take 2 or 3 songs with a similar beat and blend them together using bits and pieces of lyrics from.
There's a guy that does, you see him on Facebook all the time, where he'll take 2 completely different music genres that just so happens the songs have similar beats, and he'll blend them together. And it's thing like you'll have Metallica and Diana Ross and the Supremes, and they're mixing the 2 songs.
Or Huey Lewis and the News and Metallica.
Yeah.
Well, you see it happening all the time with the Monkees and Beatles songs, and it's the same drum beat, it's the same tempo, but think about who did this 35, 40 years ago. Do you remember the stars on 45 and stars on long play? And it is literally the same disco beat, whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
And they did a whole thing of them just on the Beatles ones. And then they did a whole thing of, what was it? It had a bunch of jazz and big band stuff in it. A lot, Glenn Miller, In the Mood. I think they called it Swing in the Mood or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was widely popular back then.
Well, if the people doing it are sufficiently talented, I mean, you just go, that's something I never considered should have happened before, but now that I hear it, it's pretty cool.
Was this when the CGI thing first started coming out. Hank Williams Jr. did a video of one of his father's songs, and they took a performance that had been filmed of his father, Hank Williams, playing the song.
It's called "There's a Tear in My Beer,"
and they digitally inserted Hank Williams Jr. onto the stage with his dad, and they were both playing a song together. It's kind of cool.
Yep, they had a video of that, but the best one I ever seen also was between two family members, so Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole, Unforgettable.
That was a good one.
And I actually bought the cassette tape when that came out new, and there were a couple others that they did that digital duets, whatever you want to call it, and they were quite nice as well. And then, of course, you saw other people started getting into doing some of that. Now, here's the big difference of it all, which, jumping back to the Ed Sheeran thing and the George Harrison and chiffons and all that, when Natalie Cole did it, when Hank Williams Jr. did it, when Stars on 45 or Stars on Long Play, whatever, when they did it, they dispensed all the proper royalties to the people that deserved it, that they used their either samplings or bits of lyrics and that from their songs, and that, to where a lot of that is not happening today. Somebody wrote today on Facebook, asked if all the writers were supporting the Writers Guild, the WGA, with their current strike right now. And a lot of people are chiming up, yeah, solidarity, all right, and all this stuff. And I put in there, I said, you know what, the best way that you could support the Writers Guild is cancel all your streaming subscriptions, because those are the people that are giving it to them, or I should say not giving it to them, not giving them the proper residuals and all the monies owed to them, that they are literally been cheated out of. And if they're not getting the money in from all those subscribers, and that, they might think a little bit differently about paying the people in the Writers Guild, and that what's due to them. And but I don't think anybody's going to do that anytime soon. Mm-hmm. Because they got to watch their Mandalorian and all the other, Lord of the Rings shows and all the other stuff, Dan,
I found another digital duet that you need to actually give a listen to.
Oh?
Keith Whitley. You've heard of Keith Whitley?
Yeah.
And Alison Krauss. When you say
Yep.
nothing at all.
Yep.
Okay, I'm in. Now, did y'all flash up Donna's comment there about Natalie Cole and Nat King
Yeah.
Cole? Okay,
Mhm.
I thought you probably would have. Yes, I saw that when it first came out. That is absolutely beautiful.
Alison Krauss's cover version, and it was the more popular version as far as Billboard and Cashbox and that goes. It made more money. It's my favorite for obvious reasons, um, but the tempo, if you listen to both songs, the tempo is slightly different. There's certain parts of the song where it does sound the same. Going back to George Harrison, Olivia Newton-John, early in her career, did a cover of "If Not for You," which was a George Harrison song, and she slowed the tempo down on that, and really, really beautiful. And I, as much of a Beatle fan that I am and a George Harrison fan, I tend to like her version a little bit better than the original one off of the All Things Must Pass album.
Yeah, it is now posted on Stupid O'Clock. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, I can't listen to the whole song. I'm bawling like a baby.
Mhm.
Did anybody mention the duet with uh, Mel Torme and I believe it was Lady Gaga?
No.
It was a Torch song. It was gorgeous.
Now I've heard, a lot of Tony Bennett.
Yeah, she did the whole album with Tony Bennett and went on
Was
tour
it
with
Tony
him.
Bennett? I
Yeah.
thought it was. I thought it was Mel Torme. Well, I sit corrected.
Yeah. Now, Tony Bennett's got Alzheimer's bad
Mhm.
now.
Yep.
Well, I'm
And he
beginning
was
to
out
wonder
on
about me.
stage. He was out on stage singing, some of his songs, and you could tell he was struggling to remember the words. And she walks out and goes, Anthony, Anthony. He turns around and goes, it's Lady Gaga. And smile lit up. He remembered songs, everything. And she said that was one of the greatest moments of her life. When Tony Bennett was lost in a fog and saw her and came right back.
That is probably the duet that I was thinking of. Don't know why I got him mixed up with the competition. Is I've listened to a lot of the that period sort of music.
I knew it because Tony Bennett's local from Champaign area.
Donna, you got no clue. You have no clue.
I used to like a lot of her pop music when she first came out, but I think she really found her niche now. And
her pop music was to get her name out there, and
notoriety.
She rolled back to what she's doing now.
Well, Pat Benatar was classically trained, and she started out before she became a pop star. She sang opera, and that's why she could sing the notes and hold the notes the way she does in some of her old songs, because of how she was trained.
That woman probably doesn't even need a PA system to be able to reach everybody in a stadium with her voice.
And she will not do a couple of her songs anymore.
Yes, I read about that, and I agree, and we probably shouldn't even go further with that.
I agree, but boy, They were some of the best.
Well, give her time. She'll come out
I
with
can't
something
remember
better.
what album it was off of, but and I don't ever think it was a single, but she recorded a song called Hell is for Children.
Yes.
And it was about
That's
abuse.
probably one of the ones that she won't sing anymore.
That's probably one of the ones she should sing because of the content.
Well,
And because it was a song to bring attention to the problems of the topic of the song.
mm-hmm.
I mean, you think people talk about doing this for breast cancer and all this, and
Well,
trying to think of the verbiage that they use. Awareness, bring awareness. I couldn't think of that for a second.
see, folks, we can do serious.
Yep.
Sirius XM.
We don't like doing it, but we try.
This is exactly what happens in a convention conversation. The topic drifts wider than the Larry Niven mailing list, which is the official Urban Dictionary definition of topic drift. I should know because I've been there since the 90s. It's what happens when people who are eclectic in their interests get together and have a conversation. Things it's like a wave pattern. Topics come, topics go, and it could be quoting Monty Python skits 1 minute and talking about armchair rocket science the next, and going on to something else from there, and then change and change and change. That's what we do.
Why do we do it? No damn clue.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Because you have nothing else to do. It's
The
better
squirrel
than
of
dead
mass
air.
distraction is our
Is our mascot. Where is that
mascot.
little feller anyway?
It's our Patronus. I mean, seriously.
There's that little feller. I made a mistake, cleaned up my office. I can't find shit no more.
Lindsay's got mine in a basket in the trunk of her car. The squirrel of mass distraction, the dream pilot, and the other, I can't remember what the other two were.
Good night, everybody.
Plot bunny.
The plot bunny, yes. Okay, what was the fourth one?
I don't remember. I tried to get him to go with the possum of procrastination, but he said no.
That would have been a good one. That would have been a good one. But we got we got the entire set, and they've been protected for a long time. And half the reason I think they're in the trunk of her car is to keep the dog from thinking they're a chew toy.
Oh yeah. We had it wasn't really a rescue, but more a home invasion of a dog. It was a pit bull, bull terrier, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I was out on one of my scrapping days, and I stopped to pick up some stuff and left the back seat open because I was getting cord, so I left the back seat open. This damn pit bull jumped in the damn car with us. Don't know where he came from. We went, found out he was chipped. We contacted the owner. They were out of town and says, "Can you keep him till Sunday evening?" Okay, sure.
Evidently, Sunday didn't come around very soon.
It came around. I took him. We're running a little late. Where you live? I know where you live. Okay, just take him home, put him in the fence. But long story short, some bitch come back about 3 days later.
He
From
knew
a
where
half
you
a
lived
mile.
too.
Yeah, from half a mile away.
You say they were chipped or not?
Yeah, he was chipped.
He was chipped, so found his owner then.
Hey,
Yeah.
dogs get bored.
Do what?
Dogs get bored.
Well, he got bored because he was never. He was locked in the backyard and never saw humans.
Well,
But I ended up taking him back. Then about a week or two later, he showed up on the one of the Facebook pages of found dogs in East Ridge. I said, that dog is chipped. His owner lives on Atlanta Drive. And then long story short, the lady ended up paying some serious fees because she hauled him to East Ridge and dumped him.
That's the bad thing about bad owners and chipping a pet. It makes them responsible for the pet. Sean just said something in here about the cat that come over here. Sean lives near me, and we had a very, very friendly black cat that popped up, and so one of the not so nice neighbors called animal control because the cat kept looking. He wanted to go in the people's apartments and stuff, and something was going on. Might have been mistreated at home or whatever, but we had never seen this cat before in our lives. The neighbors called animal control. They came and picked the cat up. Found out that cat was microchipped and fixed, thankfully, and took the cat back, and then it was back 3 or 4 days later because of the same thing.
We had a neighbor give us grief over
Right?
a feral cat that came up out of the woods behind the house and was attempting to join our little menagerie of cats inside the chain link fence. And the next door neighbors were telling us just get rid of it. We don't want it around. And we said, well, I mean,
you can always tell who the good people are, who the good cat people are, because they wind up with all the cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's the best proof I've got that I'm a decent human being is because I've got all the cats.
Where did all these damn cats come from?
Will
I feed a feral cat out here. Yeah.
Well, they wanted us to put it in the car, drive it out to the next county, and dump it somewhere. And Lindsay just told him, Dan is not capable of doing that. He's no more capable of going and abandoning a cat than he would be shooting it.
This is really good. This is really good stories here, Dan. By the way, hello there. Greetings and salutations, kind fellas. By the way, I like Bill's shirt. I like what he's wearing. I like what he's showing and telling the 5-year-olds back home. And I also like the picture that he showed. Hey, we're playing Star Wars content on the Every Day is Saturday Facebook group page, which you should definitely check out. It's a lot of fun. Guys, it's May the 4th be with you. How cool is that?
It is.
I mean, honestly. Yeah, I don't know about that hand signal that you're trying to flag me down with there, Bill, but that's a different fandom. But listen, it's good to be here. I want to wish Happy May the 4th be with you to each and every single one of not just the panelists on this stage, but the people watching at home, because Star Wars means a lot to a lot of different people, and we're very happy to celebrate it today. Isn't that right, Dan?
Yes, but beware, tomorrow is the Revenge of the 5th.
Well, actually, tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, and then the day after that is Revenge of the 6th.
Oh,
yeah, 6.
Leave me to just go ahead and blow a good joke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And leave it to the Mandalorian to claim the whole month. This is the May.
This is the May.
This is the May. That's right. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Before this show and before the show that we just did, by the way, our show lasted 2 hours tonight of celebrating Star Wars with 7 incredible panelists, which you can check out at Nerd Culture channel, as you can see on my name tag down below. But I bought 2 Star Wars shirts tonight. One of them is written in the FedEx font, and it says Falcon on it, and it's got the Millennium Falcon just flying off. And then the other shirt says, well, it doesn't say anything, but it has all 10 characters from The Mandalorian as a silhouette. It's it's a silhouette. So it's like the man with no name, like a shadow kind of thing. It's really cool. And it's on RIPT apparel right now because they're having this weird thing called a sale where you can buy one and get the second one for 50% off, gentlemen. So if you want some Star Wars swag there, Bill, look up RIPT apparel.
Oh, Ryan. Here, just here. What do you want? You want my Discover card? You want money? Okay,
I got a little bookmark here that's got Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber on it. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Bill, now you know why you've been selling all those Matchbox cars.
Exactly.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you need spending money.
Yes.
I sold a Colossal Boy figure the other day, Tuesday, for $150. So now I got a little bit of scratch to do that.
Wow.
But
I didn't even know they had figures of that one.
Oh, that was a special San Diego Comic-Con. It came from a Legion of Superheroes set. You had to have all 12 figures and a ring.
Yep. And
I had this set from San Diego Comic-Con.
Did you?
And I found out I got more money by selling the figures and the ring individually than I could as a set.
Oh, because some collectors didn't get the chance to get the entire set at once.
Exactly. They're wanting to build their set.
Yep, I understand that completely.
Ryan, thank you for plugging the Every Day is Saturday group. I want to just take a brief second. If you people want to go in there, I'm showing Ewoks cartoons from the 80s. Showing 2 different episodes of Droids. I'm showing the big long movie length version, but I'm also showing the episode that they refer to as the Boba Fett episode.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I'm showing not the whole Star Wars holiday special. I am just showing the 10-minute long animated segment where you first saw Boba Fett before movies or anything. You saw him in this. And along with a ton of Star Wars commercials, a ton of I even posted a Star Wars PSA.
Did you?
That showed R2-D2 smoking a cigarette. So where in the hell else are you going to see that? But
that's a great question.
Do you have the matching thing for the robot from Lost in Space was smoking a cigar?
Really?
No.
That's
okay. Short digression here.
What was? Yeah, By the way, hi to everybody in the chat. I noticed a lot of people are saying hi to everybody here. Donna, Carly, Carlene, good to see you. Who's the other one? Carl, good to see you. And you're right, Carl. Ryan comes up with all the energy because I require no caffeine, no tea, and no Monster Energy drinks of any kind. By the way, Dawn, hey Ryan, long time no see. Dawn, it was so good to see you, and thank you for joining us for our Star Wars Day celebration in the chat at Neuroculture. Dawn is, man, she's got so many wonderful things to say about Star Wars. And not only that, she's a diehard Lego fan. So way to go, Dawn. Keep collecting those Star Wars Legos.
I've got something for you, Ryan.
Do you now?
Happy Star Wars Day. May
Exactly. I understood that.
May the 4th ever be in your favor, Gandalf.
There you go. See, I understood every single one of those 30,000 references that Joe Dog just dropped in. So it's wonderful. And it's good to see everybody in the chat. It's good to see the regulars because I hardly ever see you guys. It's sad, but I miss you, and it's great to see you. And it's good to be on this panel with these fine young gentlemen, including, Rich, it's good to see you, man. You just pop up out of the clear blue whenever I'm here. It's weird. It feels like we're, I show up for 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes later you show up. And it's like, oh, well, if Ryan's here, then we got to incorporate the 2 R's, right? The Ryan and the Rich. So
I was here earlier. It's just Misty is her first day back to work since her procedure. So when she got home, I wanted to make sure I was there in case she needed to unload from any stress.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Hope everyone in your family is doing well, though, no matter what. 100%. 100%. By the way, I got your little information about, what is it, HoloCon? Looks pretty good there, Joe Dog. Looks like you got a good thing going.
Ah. Yep.
It happens occasionally.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say anything yet, but I'm chasing a media guest.
Ooh.
I should know by the end of July when I speak to them.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And the reason why he's not saying anything is to make sure that they don't
bless you.
Figure it out and figure out ways to escape. Crap, it's Joda.
That too.
Really, escape room, and now I'm picket fencing again.
Oh,
Damn
are
it.
you?
What is wrong with my internet?
By the way, does anyone remember a TV series called Picket Fences with Tom Skerritt? Does anyone remember that?
Yep,
And,
I do.
The kid from Lost in Space.
Billy
what was his
Mooney.
name?
Billy Mooney.
No.
Billy, was it Bill Mooney or Billy?
Mooney.
You do not want to call him Mummy to his face. He will correct you.
Sorry. But yeah, it's funny you bring that up because Picket Fences was a show I remember watching a lot of as a kid growing up. That was a family-related show. That was a good show.
Yeah.
Wasn't the father like wasn't he like a cop or something?
He was the local sheriff.
He was the local sheriff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did was the mother a stay-at-home mom or did she do something as well? I can't remember. The motherly character on the show, she was
a doctor.
Oh, she was a doctor. Okay, got it. I wonder who one of the little kids, the little boy. I remember him making appearances on other shows, but who did they have a daughter on the show?
They had a boy named Kimberly Brock, played by Holly Mary Combs.
Wow.
And Adam Wiley played Zachary Brock.
That was the kid I was trying to think of. What was the kid? It was Adam Wiley. Exactly. That's who I was thinking of.
I thought you were going to say Angela Cartwright. I was thinking.
No, that's Lost in Space mostly, but she was on.
What else was she on?
Danny Thomas, I do believe.
Yeah.
And several other things that I do not recall.
Justin
Bill, she's on my Facebook.
About time.
I wonder is Picket Fences streaming somewhere? I wonder if it's streaming. Maybe I should go find that. That's a good question.
As to the robot smoking a cigar story that I was going to tell. It seems that one day the cast of Lost in Space took a break. I guess they went off to lunchtime or whatnot. And the robot was just left sitting there on the set. And a couple of the stagehands noticed that there was smoke coming out of the robot. And they went and grabbed fire extinguisher and ran up yelling. And it turns out the actor inside the suit was smoking a cigar because nobody had come and taken the helmet off of the suit so he could get out and go to lunch. He
That's
was
just
so
weird.
good, they thought it was a mechanical prop and forgot there was a guy inside.
I don't understand that one at all, but that's just, hey, that you know what they say, right? That's one for the books. By the way, Picket Fences is actually streaming on Hulu and Amazon Prime in case anyone wants to go back and stream it. And it only lasted 4 seasons.
Of course, Kenny Baker had the same
That was a
problem
good band.
playing R2D2.
Yeah,
They would forget
Kenny.
to pull him out of the R2D2 suit.
Didn't they have to do that after every take? Or after every scene, they had to pull him out?
Will?
Apparently, they forgot to pull him out and went to lunch.
Ooh, that's not good for Kenny Baker. Good heavens.
Now,
Yeah,
something I
that's-
heard was to
other one?
know whether they were using a mechanical R2D2 or the version with Kenny Baker in it. Did that not determine whether it was a 3-legged R2D2 as opposed to a 2-legged?
Yeah, the 2-legged was Kenny. The 3-legged was the remote
The-
control.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I would have thought the opposite.
Okay. I
makes-
thought that whenever that R2 ran into a wall, it was Kenny, and whenever it didn't, it was the mechanical. But
No, when it ran into the wall, it was the guy running the remote control.
oh wow.
Oh,
I remember that.
at Huntsville, at the showdown in Huntsville, they
Oh.
had the little mouse droid running around,
oh yeah, I love that.
and all of a sudden it stopped and started playing
The Cantina song?
the Cantina song, and it would open up and there was a Pog in there holding joysticks driving it.
Oh my god. That's freaking awesome. That's awesome. I love that. It's just ugh. Man, those mouse they came after R5D4 in the season finale of Mandalorian. They almost killed him. Spoiler alert, sorry, but R5D4 did make it through the episode. He's not dead. Sorry, spoilers.
He's
I have
not
not seen,
dead
no, I have
again?
not seen that one. But I'm
Sorry.
wondering, how can a courier droid do anything other than deliver messages?
I don't know. If you watch the episode of The Mandalorian I was referencing earlier, you can go ahead and figure that out. I'm just so happy that I got some Star Wars stuff in the mail today. I got this poster of the X-Wing fighter with the line that says, "I'm not such a bad pilot myself." We don't have to sit here and listen. And I got the Obi-Wan Kenobi bookmark that I showed you guys a moment ago. Here it is. It looks lovely. It's beautiful. And then I also got an Obi-Wan Kenobi bookmark with him holding his lightsaber, but that's prequel Obi-Wan with a full beard. So I think it's like right after Revenge of the Sith. Ewan McGregor's iteration of the character. So there you go. You're welcome. I really like this bookmark though because lightsabers are awesome. So there you go.
Oh,
And it's metal too. It's a metal bookmark, guys.
Have you seen Taylor Forge's photograph of her with the lightsaber?
What was it?
It was a pirate style. Not. It was a Star Wars lightsaber style, but it was in a pirate fashion. Very steampunk.
Had the,
I got you.
had the cup guard.
Yeah,
It's like
with a hand guard and everything. Yeah. It's absolutely beautiful.
I never heard of
And
this.
it's from let's see, what is the name of the company?
I don't know.
Lightforge?
Oh yeah.
Is that one of the ones that makes lightsabers?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I got the name right. And apparently they do incredible workmanship. So
Okay. I guess I'll have to Google this. I'm not aware of it originally.
go ahead, go on Facebook, look up Taylor's Forge. She's a very lovely young lady, very nice personality. She's a costumer. She's a seamstress. I keep calling her she. That's wrong. excuse me. I'm sorry, Talus. I'm trying to get used to this, but there are several folks I know that use the alternative pronouns that I'm not used to because I'm old, but I keep trying to be respectful. So give me credit for trying to remember when I do. But
yeah, I have some photos pulled up here. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Good costume.
So what do they use? I see a lot of companies make lightsabers, and of course they can't call them lightsabers because of trademarks.
Yeah.
But the one thing I wonder,
if they bother to get the license.
Some of them. I mean, one of them's called Ultra Sabers.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not lightsabers, but
And I see them on Facebook all the time, all the different companies and that. But when anybody can make a metal part of the lightsaber and that, but as far as the tube and that, I'm waiting for somebody to make something different that doesn't look like a kid's Star Wars toy with just the expandable clear tube that lights up. I want something that looks like the real deal, whether it's maybe a something metal on a spring that'll glow and light up, that'll give that effect and not look like a tube or whatever. I mean, all the technology out there, you figure somebody must know how to do it.
I've got a true story for you. I was in college in the 70s and got to see the premiere movie of the entire series. Back when nobody ever knew there was going to be a sequel of any kind or a prequel of any kind. And a friend of mine, one of my roommates, went to the theater multiple times and was taking photographs of the movie screen so that he could build a diorama of some of the vehicle props. So I got to study a couple of his photographs and figured out a way to copy the hardware part of Luke's lightsaber and built it out of plumbing parts and scrap metal that I was able to find and anything else. And at the time, the only saber, the blade effect that you were able to achieve was a golf tube. So basically, I made a flashlight out of copper pipe and aluminum and stainless steel and some lenses and whatnot, wired up the entire thing inside. It was not a flashlight. I built a flashlight out of scrap metal. And then a friend of mine got me tickets to an Emerson, Lake and Palmer concert in Atlanta. You know how people always hold up their Bic lighters when they're doing we want an encore, we want an encore. Well, imagine the looks on Emerson, Lake and Palmer's faces when somebody in 7th row floor seats waved a lightsaber instead of a Bic lighter in front of them.
And now
they would arrest me for being a terrorist for carrying metal into a concert, but
now everybody holds up their cell phone.
Yeah.
What a stupid thing. You can't light a joint with a cell phone.
Of course not.
You can.
Oh, give Motorola time, or Apple, they'll figure it out.
Yes, Dawn. Yes, Dawn. Thank you. A very uncommon man.
So Talus's saber was from Saberforge.
Okay.
I see the Rapier Mark II, but it's out of stock. I don't see the Rapier like they had, but they've got some really killer katana hilts.
I
A
almost
lot
said
of the
that out loud.
lightsaber, yeah, a lot of the lightsabers you could take directly from not the Maglite brand. I'm trying to think of the other one. Brinkman?
Yes, Brinkman makes spotlights and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could do that. Yeah. And
You know, Luke Skywalker's original lightsaber was actually a flash tube for a camera.
yeah,
And I can't remember.
Graflex.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was either. But
No. It's either Graflex or Graphics. It was the battery pack for a camera flash, and it would mount to a 35 millimeter camera.
Now, Joe, you're scaring us. We think we're standing on railroad tracks and the train's coming at us.
What were you doing the other night? Why were you out in the woods?
Yeah.
The optimist sees a light at the end of the tunnel. The pessimist, what was it? The optimist sees a light at the end of the tunnel. The pessimist sees the oncoming train. The realist wonders why they're standing on the tracks, and the engine conductor wonders why there's 3 idiots on the tracks.
Oh, Carl, why did you have to say that? You're right.
Wait, Dawn's not here yet.
Dawn's been
Now,
here.
In the show.
Oh.
If there is a train at the end of the tunnel and that's the light they're seeing, that's not optimism. That's self-sacrifice.
Oh.
Or maybe a death wish, possibly. I don't know, but definitely not optimism.
There's a friend of mine who is inordinately fond of railroad trains. And he had a band at one time. He was the bass player. And there was some pictures he posted of the guys in the band walking through a tunnel. It was not a railroad tunnel, but it was a tunnel. And I made up an album cover, a fake album cover for him. And put in, it's basically the name of the band and The Light at the End of the Tunnel was the album title. And it looked like they were walking out into the bright light, so they were all silhouetted and everything. It was very artistic, very avant-garde. But then I'm stuck in the 70s, so what do I know? It was pretty neat. I've got the photo posted somewhere. I swear I do. I don't know where. Might be on my Facebook photos. Might be on one of the other web pages. I don't know.
Okay, the Darth Vader lightsaber that was given to Luke Skywalker by Ben Kenobi was built with the flash attachment of a British 3-cell MPP micro flash, a flash tube attachment used on 40s era press cameras.
Okay.
And then they glued a bunch of crap to it. So.
Yeah, at the time they were in such abundance that you'd get buy one get 3 free.
Right. Now here's what's funny: the next movie, Return of the Jedi, that was the one that was used in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. By the time Return of the Jedi came out, they couldn't find those anymore, so they went with the 3-cell Graphics flash tube.
That's where I got confused.
Graflex, yeah.
I was going to say, I wonder how much those flash tubes are selling on eBay these days.
Don't even bother.
Don't even bother to look.
Unless you're
Not
feeling,
unless you just won the lottery.
unless you're feeling
It's three digits.
suicidal and want to have a heart attack, don't look.
Don't look, Ethel.
Bill, it's 3 digits, and it ain't low 3 digits.
Well, otherwise, I would have better luck buying the 1966 Batmobile, I guess.
I tried to mute my microphone for that sneeze, and you started that, and y'all got the full sneeze.
The sneeze at the end of the show.
Hey, this show is nothing to sneeze at.
Well, I just did. Of course, I saw a post the other day. It says, when someone sneezes, I always say, bless you. Of course, if I yell, demon be gone, it's kind of unsettling. But isn't it the same thing?
Yeah. I'm going to start yelling at my wife.
It's too late in the show to start this conversation.
I can't remember where it is. It's somewhere here in Tennessee. But apparently they've got this church that has this big outdoor tent revival thing going on all the time. And so it's basically the whole church is an outdoor tent type thing. And it's one of these old school churches that, they cast out demons. And apparently they got this big PA system inside there. And everyone in the neighborhood for like a mile around can hear this through the floors of their house. Demon be gone! And it's just so they're filing a lawsuit against the church to shut it to be quiet. And the church is countersuing, saying it's a violation of their right to religious freedom. So
Not when it comes in my house.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Now, we have a Christian festival literally a mile from my house. It's called J-Fest. It's coming up. I like
Lupton Drive Baptist Church?
No, that's over at River Park.
Oh, across the river from you.
Yeah, across the river. Outside, you can't hear the concert. Inside, you're attending. It's the weirdest. We don't know why, but every time they have any event over there, you hear it in the house, but not outside.
It's kind of like living next to a highway. You tend to hear it more inside your house at night, which it's like white noise, but it resonates better.
Well, it's not white noise.
I've run into that problem. I've run into that problem at work. I used to run a big machine right outside the production office where the supervisors had their desks and computers and stuff. And I had a boombox, and I played music because it was a 12-hour day, and I'm not going to stand there forever. And they would complain they could hear the boombox in the office, but they came out the door, they couldn't hear it. The glass is vibrating.
Yeah.
All right. High flight.
Yeah, well, there's not enough time to run high flight. We're just going to talk for about another 25, 30 seconds, and then just end the show. Dan, you can go ahead and start rolling your intro.
All
Wait a minute. What happens if we go over?
Take up Dan's time.
I probably will sit there looking like a fool in my own show with nobody there, and wouldn't that be unusual?
Give me no ideas, Dan. All right, it's time. We say good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all Saturday night, and I will do my best to have all the shows set up so Dan doesn't have to rush in here at the last second to do it all.
Well, I hope I didn't screw it up too badly.
Oh, you just didn't put it on the stupid o'clock group page, but oh well. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Lie
Good night,
again.